Bergen-Fischer Media.
Hey, it's Monday, here we go. It's the Call Me Tony Show.
Hey guys, today is Monday, March 3rd, 2025. My name is Tony. This is my podcast and welcome to it. Today I wanted to talk about something that's a little weird, I guess. I've been exploring maybe what it means to hold a God belief as an atheist, which seems kind of stupid right off the top because an atheist is somebody who doesn't have any God beliefs, but really what it's come down to is questioning like what it means to define God. And if I start playing with that definition, then maybe my atheism is actually compatible with holding some sort of God-ish belief. And I think really what it comes down to is the like a question which is sort of like God adjacent, which is what does it mean to explore spirituality, or whatever you want to call it, as an atheist? And this is a question I've been sitting with for a while. For most of my life, I thought spirituality, at least in a way that most people use the word, belonged to religion. It was something tied to faith, to belief in the supernatural, to practices and traditions that assume the existence of something beyond what we can observe. And since I don't believe in God, I assumed that spirituality wasn't something that I needed to think about. But recently, I walked into an interfaith space. Now, I wasn't looking for faith, wasn't looking for belief, but I was looking for something else, like a community maybe, a place where I could interact with a diverse group of people while still holding on to my individuality. And I didn't know what to expect because I didn't have a direct point of reference for a space like that. But what stood out to me almost immediately was that the idea of God wasn't framed in a way that required belief in the supernatural. It wasn't even framed in a way that limited it to any one religious tradition. Instead, it seemed like everyone was free to interpret it in a way that made sense to them, or in my case, to not engage with it at all. And that got me thinking, if spaces like this exist, spaces where belief is flexible and meaning is personal, then maybe conversations about spirituality or meaning or whatever we choose to call it aren't as exclusive as I once assumed. And maybe as an atheist, I don't have to shut myself off from these conversations just because I don't believe in a God. But at the same time, I don't like to use the word God myself. I don't like it. I don't need it. And I wonder, can I explore these ideas while still maintaining that boundary? For me, the word God carries a lot of weight. I grew up in a Christian environment where God wasn't just an abstract concept, he was an authority, a force that dictated morality, that demanded obedience, that structured every part of life. And for a long time after leaving that belief system behind, I felt a lot of hostility toward religion. I assumed that hostility was mutual, that people of faith would see me as an outsider, as someone who didn't belong in spaces that centered around meaning, ethics, or purpose. But in this interfaith community, something unexpected happened. I saw people using the word God in ways I hadn't considered before. Some spoke of God as a force of love. Others described God as the order underlying the universe. Some even use the word as nothing more than a metaphor for human ideals, a way to frame morality and connection without implying the existence of an actual being. The last idea was interesting to me because it made me wonder if God is just a word people use to describe something meaningful, is it possible to engage with those meanings without engaging with the word? And for me, the answer is clear. I don't need to use the word at all. And I don't particularly want to. But what I've realized is that I can be in spaces where others do. And that doesn't mean that I don't belong. This whole experience has also made me reflect on my relationship with religious spaces in general. Over time, I've learned that I can make myself comfortable in them. That wasn't always true. When I first deconverted from Christianity, I felt a lot of resentment toward religion, and I assumed that religious people would be equally resistant to my atheism. Looking back, I think I was projecting some of my own struggles onto those spaces. Maybe the discomfort I felt wasn't always about how I was being treated, but about my own lingering reactions to a past I hadn't fully processed yet. And sure, in some ways, I still feel like an outsider, but I also wonder how much of that is real and how much of it is in my head. Because the truth is, meaning is something that everyone searches for. And just because I approach it differently doesn't mean I can't take part in the conversation. Now, I don't particularly like the word spirituality. It's been defined in so many different ways that to me, it doesn't communicate much of anything. But if someone asks me directly how I define it, or if I need to engage with the word for the sake of discussion, I'd say this. What others call spirituality, I see as existing at the crossroads of philosophy, science, personal experience, and emotion. It's philosophy because it's about how we define meaning, morality, and purpose in a universe that doesn't always have easy answers. It's science because understanding the vastness of space, the complexity of life, and the principles that govern reality can and should inspire awe and wonder just as deeply as any religious experience. It's a personal experience because those profound, quiet moments, whether in nature, in art, or in human connection, shape the way we engage with the world. And it's emotion because sometimes the things that move us defy logic. A song, a moment of stillness, a connection with another person. These things can't always be measured, but they matter. This is how I find meaning. Not in faith, not in divine purpose, but in the world as it is, vast, complex, and full of moments worth paying attention to. And for me, this exploration isn't just something that happens in passing, it's an active pursuit. I don't know how to exercise open mindedness without searching for the same sense of meaning that most people search for. It's not about trying to replace something I lost. I don't feel like anything is missing. It's about refining my understanding of what already exists. The search for meaning isn't about discovering something external. It's about shaping how I make sense of my own experiences. And in that sense, I'm not so different from people who use the word spirituality freely. I just describe it differently. So, where does that leave me? Well, I still don't believe in God. I still don't like using the word. But I've realized that conversations about meaning, connection, and even spirituality, if we have to use that word, aren't exclusive to believers. What others call spirituality, I call meaning. What others call divine, I call remarkable. And what others look for in faith, I look for in understanding. The search for meaning isn't unique to the religious. It's something we all do in one way or another. And maybe, just maybe, that search is something we can all talk about, no matter where we stand on belief. If you've got thoughts on this or anything else I've spoken about, send me an email. I'd love to hear about it. Call me TonyPod@yahoo.com. Thank you for listening. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. And until next time, my friends, take care of yourselves, take care of each other.